This is a heist for the Golden State Warriors as Mike Dunleavy has perfectly positioned Golden State to pull off a robbery at this year's NBA buyout market sort of window, and Lonnie Walker is the golden prize that Golden State can really go after and bring in. And rumors are starting to escalate about Lonnie Walker coming back to the NBA and the Warriors being involved in those sweepstakes. So we're going to break down the possibility of signing Lonnie Walker, how he really changes everything for this Golden State team, and what's the expected timeline for him coming over, playing from overseas, and joining the Golden State Warriors and NBA roster. So lots of stuff to break down in this video. But folks, you guys have been crushing hitting that subscribe button as of late, and we are getting very close to that 9,000 subscriber mark. So if you guys haven't hit the subscribe button just yet and you want to stay up to date with all of the latest Golden State Warriors news, make sure you guys hit that sub button so you don't miss a single thing that's going on, as we're delivering daily Golden State Warriors coverage out here on the channel. But let's dive into the madness. Let's dive into what's going on, because again, I've been bringing this up a ton, but essentially the Warriors, after their 4-for-1 trade for Jimmy Butler, dropped them to just 11 players. So they quickly got back to 12 by promoting Quinten Post from his two-way contract to a standard NBA roster spot, and now they have 3 openings on their standard roster along with 1 two-way. So essentially the Golden State Warriors have a bunch of opportunities to bring in players at the buyout market, and it's why all eyes are on Mike Dunleavy right now in terms of making moves, in terms of bringing in players, and especially with how good Golden State has been since acquiring Jimmy Butler, there are a lot of opportunities to just surefire, especially this bench, and build things out to really make a playoff push, a late season push for this Warrior squad. And there's no better name out there on the market than this man out here in Lonnie Walker. And we've discussed how Malcolm Brogdon's a buyout candidate. We've discussed other players out there as potential fits, but there's no bigger or better fit than Lonnie Walker out there on the market. And there's a lot of reports and rumors and things escalating about him coming back to the NBA and the Warriors being involved. So basically, let's dive into some of those. So essentially, a potential buyout market candidate now that the NBA trade deadline is passed is veteran guard Lonnie Walker. And he has an escape clause in his EuroLeague contract with Zalgiris until February 18th. So that's the kind of deadline where you can look at the NBA escape clause. So with that escape clause in mind, Lonnie Walker has the opportunity to come back to the NBA without breaching contract or having to get one of those weird buyouts out there from one of these EuroLeague teams. And the reports and rumors are starting to escalate a ton in regards to him coming back and being a fit. And this is where the Golden State Warriors come to play, is essentially there's been some articles again from overseas reporters and things like that saying the competition for Lonnie Walker's services is expected to be fierce, with several other NBA teams reportedly expressing interest. The Golden State Warriors, Philadelphia 76ers, Timberwolves, Heat, Nuggets. Obviously the Warriors are named first there, but they're all rumored to be in the mix, seeking to add a player of Walker's caliber to their rosters as they gear up for a playoff push. So again, Lonnie Walker is a guy that, if people forgot, is still a very, very effective player. In fact, hasn't even reached close to the prime of his career just yet. And, because he's been bounced around, he's only 26 years old. You don't even realize how young this guy is. He's 6'4", he's athletic, and even though he's bounced around the NBA a little bit, even in his most recent season just last year, averaged 10 points per game for the Brooklyn Nets, and that's coming off the bench. He shot 38% from behind the three-point line, coming off the bench for the Brooklyn Nets, and was still a very, very effective player. There's no world where this guy should be out of the NBA, given his age, given his production, given the level of play that he's provided. In fact, just a couple seasons ago, this guy was a ridiculous piece out there for the Lakers in terms of their, pushes out there on their squads. Was a very promising up-and-coming prospect for the San Antonio Spurs. I'm still shocked that he is not on an NBA roster to start off this year. I think he made a poor decision signing with the Boston Celtics on an Exhibit 10 contract because, of course, they tried to keep together their championship roster, but a guy that just last season averaging 10 points per game can be very, very effective. And yes, the Golden State Warriors have a few guys that play this position. Podziemski has been better as of late, locked on the defensive end, is still super young himself, so there's minutes that he's going to get a few more minutes out there at that guard position. Buddy Hield The team looks good, or when the team changes, Buddy Hield has these hot stretches, and he has been great over the last few games. And frankly, should keep up, given all the more open looks that are going to be happening with Jimmy Butler out here on the roster. So there are some wings already on this team, and some people are saying, "Hey Ben, they need to go after bigs. They need to go after this. They need to go after that." If Lonnie Walker is made available to you, if this is an opportunity that the Golden State Warriors, have, according to rumors that popping up, this is a realistic possibility. I mean, they need to make this swing. They need to go all out in order to bring this guy in to Golden State, because again, he can just add extra firepower off the bench, extra shooting, extra athleticism. He can slash a little bit. Lonnie Walker does a lot of stuff out there, on the court for your specific basketball team. And he's still super young. You'd get him at a cheap price because he's coming in as one of those buyout options, and just adding extra depth to make sure that this team that has dealt with some injuries, of course, as every NBA team does, they can come in and be assured that there's going to be some extra shooting and some extra playmaking out there in the backcourt for Steph Curry, no matter who's in and out of the lineup. But more importantly, who's getting hot or who's a little bit cold, because we know how streaky Podziemski, we know how streaky Buddy Hield can be out there for these teams. So it's something that the Golden State Warriors, it's an absolute heist, right? Him being able to come in out there, the buyout option is just the type of move that Mike Dunleavy's been kind of cooking up with as of late here right now. Of course, they've improved their shooting. Quinten Post, getting that full-time roster spot. Players starting to come into their own a little bit. And then as Kuminga comes back as well, you're getting an extra slasher that can shoot, but really is going to open up more open looks for these types of guys. So Lonnie Walker coming in, he's going to be in the rotation. He's going to be able to knock down threes, and he's going to be in a position to really just flourish as a basketball player. I think this makes absolute sense for him coming in, especially the Warriors are going to be a team that's making a push. I don't want to jump to conclusions with what we've seen over the past couple of games, but you see that Warriors poise, that confidence with Jimmy Butler out there in the lineup. You just see that extra little bit of oomph that the Warriors have been lacking out there in recent years and recent seasons. And frankly, just bringing in a Lonnie Walker, one of these caliber guys that has been in the NBA, has had that experience, has been an effective guy out there on both ends of the floor, and can even just come out and do some playmaking duties. So Steph Curry isn't, they've been staggering Jimmy Butler and Steph out there in the first couple games. I think it's a smart move by Steve Kerr, but just adding extra impact players out there in your backcourt makes a ton of sense for this team. And a bunch of these teams as well, just they're hard cap. There's a lot of stuff going on with the cap flexibility, so it's hard to join a team. I hate calling it a contender. I know it might be biased, but it's hard to join a contender if you're one of these Euro guys. And of course, Lonnie Walker isn't going to come over. The reason he went to Europe is because he gets more opportunity to kind of show out and do these different things. But again, he hasn't put up the craziest stats over there in Europe, but those stats are generally deflated compared to what you're getting out there in the NBA. But it's only 22 minutes of action as well, 14 points per game. His 3-point percentage is a little bit down, but I wouldn't be stressed about that at all if you're worried about Lonnie Walker coming in. He's proven he can do it at the NBA level. His game probably translates a little bit better to the NBA game. He might be in a position to say, hey, that's a golden opportunity for me. I want to come over and join this Warriors squad. And frankly, this is the perfect match out there on the buyout market, out there for a player that's trying to redeem his value and, be that young, promising upstarting player that he really should be. He should be valued as. Everyone's pretty shocked that he is not in the NBA right now. So let me know what you guys think about the opportunity of bringing in Lonnie Walker. Do you want to see him brought in? Let me know in the comment section down below. Anyways, you guys are the best. I'm signing out. Cheers.